As a tactician, let's get into the debate that everybody wants to know right away, which is ABO versus CBO. Okay. What are your thoughts? We're only going to spend a few minutes on this, but everybody wants to
Yeah.
know, what are your thoughts?
So if your hit rate of the tests is high enough, I think you can squeeze more with ABO. If your hit rate is bad, then stick with CBO.
Yeah, I think don't disagree with that for what it's worth. Like I know I'm on the opposite side generally speaking when it comes to the ABO versus CBO. I think if I had to add my little summary, I think the bet that you're making when you choose between them is that you are going to either be right more often than Meta or at a bigger scale that kind of offsets maybe the downside of being wrong. And I think you've said this before, right? Like if that's a function of hit rate, but it's also a function of scale. If you hit a winner that Meta missed on and it can scale in way in excess of what you spent on the creative test that didn't hit, it probably doesn't actually end up mattering. The only reason I generally start with CBO is, and for a lot of people, is maybe their hit rate isn't great, and it kind of prevents the downside, especially as brands are kind of getting to scale.
Yeah, definitely. So CBO is like more conservative, and like when the budget is not high, when we have too many tests or the hit rate is low, I use CBO. When I'm into scaling and I know that like from 10 tests I will get like at least 3-4 winners, that means I'm getting 3-4 winners every week from the 10 tests. If I test 20, I get 7-8. Maybe I will not be able to scale them like, from 100 to 2K. But like if I scale it from 100 to 500 and I have like 7 of those ads a week, that adds up. And I don't need to scale every ad. I need like, I don't know, I need 1, 2 great ads and then I need like 10, 15 supporting winners. And ABO allows me that a bit more than the CBO. But I
Have
definitely
you?
agree. Yeah, sorry.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to ask, like, have you gone down the route, or do you have a kind of a tactic for? I saw somebody on Twitter X recently say, they will run their creative tests, and then if they don't work, they'll still maybe throw them in to a cost cap campaign, or kind of keep it live somewhere else. Like when I go CBO, it's generally I'm keeping the ads on. I just don't generally turn them off unless there's a good reason to turn them off. Maybe they do end up sucking, or they're super out of season, or something like that. But, I'm just wondering if there's, like, small little tactical things that you pull forward.
Yeah, so I don't have that kind of like zombie campaign. The reason is anytime ads shows attraction, I would take it post ID and I would run it somewhere else. So it never happens that a good ad is not running, it's always running somewhere. Maybe if it died in testing, it's running somewhere else. So like often the first thing that I do when I take over a new ad account, I go like year or two back and I find all old ads that are above the target ROAS that spend significantly. I take their post ID and in most cases like 7 or 8 out of 10 like ends up being performers. People just forget that they had a winner like, a year ago. That winner is a still winner. Obviously, it's not gonna scale massively, but I have some ad accounts where like those old ads are like running for like a few years.
Yeah. Do you have a cadence for, like, going back and revisiting old ads? Because like, maybe you guys even have turned things off in the past?
Yeah, that's a good thing. As I said, like there's always ad that was decent. It's always running somewhere. So when I take over, I find those ads and they're always running with some kind of budget, with a different audience, with a different attribution setting, with a different bidding. They're always running somewhere, at least with some budget. So I don't get into position that there's an ad that was good that is currently not active.